Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. This is episode 74. I'm your host, Migs, here with my co-host Charlie, as always. And this week we're going to talk about the latest Funko news. We're also going to get into what Funko says is a little apology for all the craziness that happened at Fundays. Can't wait to talk about that and all the stuff that just recently dropped.
And if you wouldn't mind, if you like this video, so more people can get to enjoy it. And if you haven't noticed on YouTube, we're kind of slowly approaching that 500 subscribers. So if you haven't already, if you could subscribe to this channel, we'd really appreciate it. All right. With that being said, let's chat.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode. This is the first episode post Fundays and SDCC and all the crazy
Yes.
madness. Um, Basically, we're going to get into the news. We do have some stuff. We have go back into talking about the drops and the things that were announced. Not too much, so the episode shouldn't be crazy, but obviously we do want to get into the Fun Day stuff and just kind of wrap that up, hopefully, with Funko's little apology and kind of some theories of what's going on with that and some other things we've been hearing as well. But we'll start off with the news stuff. Let's just get into the new stuff, the stuff that makes us happy and gets excited, and
Yes.
not so much of the drama and all that craziness. So we'll just get right into it. Like I said, it's not a heavy news week, but there was some solid stuff. So Charlie, you can start us off with something that you got excited for.
Yeah. I'm going to start off with what easily got me the most excited, and that was the Power Ranger anniversary pops, which is funny. We kind of alluded this could be coming, especially after seeing that Freddy Funko on the Green Ranger being a new mold.
Yeah.
This is like clearly the inspiration for that. And we're getting all of the original Rangers in the most action posed, in my opinion, ever. Like the evolution of the Power Ranger pop is actually amazing, in my opinion. And this one, they're all holding their weapons. I think
Mm-hmm.
these are awesome. And it seems like the Power Ranger line is coming, excuse me, back stronger than ever.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to add these to my collection.
Yeah, they look pretty sick. They're like really the classic Power Rangers that we remember from the movie and
Yeah.
stuff. And like you said, they all have their weapons, which is awesome. Obviously, the Green Ranger looks amazing, the Red Ranger. So they all look really cool. And this is a pretty interesting line because they never like miss with this. They usually like when there's a
Yeah.
new like even that kind of weird new movie that came out, they had those in pop form. They have
Yep.
like different versions of, so they constantly do that. They have them with the mask on and without them. These are all with their actual like helmet masks on.
Correct.
So it's like that version, but like you said, it's kind of like an anniversary one. But yeah, it was interesting when we saw that Freddy as Green Ranger, and obviously it was like that mold, which was awesome. But now we're coming out with this, so like it kind of almost, I don't know, I don't mean to be like picky or anything, but it almost kind of like dilutes that like Freddy a little bit because now it's like actually a mold that's going to be coming
Yeah.
out, whereas it would kind of just been a one of a kind type of thing. But yeah, I agree. The line is awesome, pretty sweet that they're coming out with more. Interesting if they're gonna do more like other people and like go with villains and stuff or not. But well, they did do the Rita as like a San Diego Comic Con. Was that part of the same
It
line or wave, you think? Or
The box doesn't seem to match, but it is interesting they did that.
yeah,
It's just funny. The last Power Ranger pops we got were the 25th anniversary, and now this is
yeah,
the 30th anniversary.
yeah, a
Um,
little random.
it is random. It's like that's the only time we're getting them. But I do hope, because within that 25th anniversary, that line was amazing. You did get a bunch of villains, and that was when we got all of the new Power Rangers, kind of like you had mentioned before. They were all unmasked, where these
Hmm.
ones they are masked. And I mean, we got tons of different, the Zords, like just tons of stuff where I hope they do that again with this, get some new characters. A lot of people have been like, why don't, personally, I mean, I think you agree. We kind of grew up and loving like the original Power Rangers, but people are always like, why don't we ever get any Funko Pops of any of the other like million different versions there were of? And I do kind of agree. And I hope that maybe they will make some of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't as much into those or know
Yeah.
a lot of them, so to know like what they were or like them, but like yeah, I'm more the OG one, so it is interesting. I guess that's more the popular, where it's at.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely an awesome like line that we're gonna get either way. They all look really awesome. Um, So one thing I was really excited for, and I mean, we saw this already back when I remember we had that episode of the licensing expo, and there was like a ton of stuff that was being announced and like leaked and whatever. And there was some WB stuff, like it was a bunch of obviously stuff for the 100 year, like anniversary that they're going through. But I thought it was pretty cool to finally see, and this was the Family Matters line,
Yes.
where we do actually, because we kind of like were like, oh my god, it would have been amazing if they did this, and it's like, well, they did do this. That's why we totally could work for
I
Funko's
completely
creative
agree.
team. But in that line, of course, what we're talking about Family Matters, and they had, I think it was 4 characters in total. But however, Steve Urkel does have a chase, and his name is like Stefan, which is awesome because we literally said that we're like, oh, that would have been perfect opportunity. Like, it is like him in a different version, and like that's perfect for a chase. And they did it. So we're getting that as a chase. So I thought it was cool that we actually saw it. And when we saw it right away, I know both of us were like, oh my God, it's hilarious because the first like leak, it wasn't part of it. Like the ones that they
No,
showed on the little like counter, it was just like the regular floor with Steve Urkel. But now we're actually getting this other version of him, which is really cool. He's all dressed up. Still says Steve Urkel, like the box didn't
that's
change the
what I was
name or
just
anything
about to
on it.
say. They should have
Yeah,
done that.
yeah, it was the only thing that was a little, but it's still a cool thing. But I guess because in a chase aspect, they don't usually change the box. I know some have,
Yeah.
but most of the time it's literally the same box and you're just getting a different mold. And that's like with chase sticker, for instance. So still pretty cool though. But I thought that one was
Yeah. I
awesome,
mean,
like addition.
I definitely love those. And to continue with the anniversary lines, Disney 100. I feel like that's been a little slower as of late, but they just announced a
Mm-hmm.
ton. Some of these were leaked. We've talked about some in the past. Now they're actually official. And we got like the three main people from the High School Musical movies, which
Yeah,
they're pretty cool. We got Raven from That's So Raven. And we got the Lizzie McGuire, which I know we had talked about that one before because it's pretty cool. It actually has like Hillary Duff and then like the little cartoon version of the character that's like always talking to her.
yeah,
And one that, hadn't really seen any images of before, which I thought was pretty cool, is Mickey from the Mickey Mouse Club. So a lot of these were kind of they're really stuck to like the Disney TV era,
yeah.
which I thought was super cool. And I mean, this line obviously is humongous at this point, but it's kind of really is Disney's history. There's a little bit of something for everyone. It's not like you need to get all of them to feel like you have all the Disney 100 pops, which I think is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that like the line is so big, it's a little overwhelming when you really like look at everything, but it's a perfect line where, like you said, you could just kind of pick and choose shows or characters that you like more, and they just come in a really cool box because I love the box, but you don't have to like go out there and
Exactly.
collect the entire crazy set. And like sticking with that, to add to that, there was another Disney 100, which we just recently saw actually get leaked or announced, and it was going to be at Downtown Disney, the World of Disney, the store there.
Yes.
So it's an exclusive Oswald pop, which is really cool because it's only exclusive. Well, as of now, because
Yeah.
you know how Funko works, it's only exclusive to that location, which kind of throws it back to like when they had the Disney parks type pops
Yep.
and like, that whole aspect. So it's really cool that we're getting that. And it's him like, platinumed out, which they have been doing that with other pops as well.
Exactly.
And this was the first time we got Oswald as like part of a wave. We got him in a soda, we got him a couple different ways. But now we're getting, his character in that. But it's cool aspect. The sticker looks really cool, and it's a cool way to get like that exclusive type of thing and something different, not just your regular,
Yeah.
Funko Shop exclusive that's literally a comment or something. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I completely agree with you. That pop is awesome. It adds a little, even though it's a variant, it's like cool because it is a Disney Parks exclusive and it
Mm-hmm.
kind of has that like look for it. They used to do this a lot and they kind of slowed down on it. Hopefully they bring them back more, which I think is cool.
Agree.
Um, continue with Disney. These pops I think are so sick. They have rumored these as well, and I know they're holiday pops, but it's the Muppet Christmas Carol. This is like one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. I love the detail in these pops. I mean, you're getting the Marley Brothers, you're getting Scrooge, you're getting all the major characters, and even like the Kermit one when he's Bob Cratchit with Tiny Tim. I mean, you're getting both him and like the little version in the pop.
Yeah.
Same with when Gonzo's Charles Dickens and Rizzo
Hmm.
the Rat. Like you're getting both of him. Like these are super sick. They do have tons of different variants. So there's like a flocked version of that one of Gonzo, which is an Amazon exclusive. And I think for the Marley Brothers, there's going to be a Funko Shop exclusive one, which glows in the dark. We talk about this all the time. Do we need those? Like, I kind of wish they just made the glow in the dark one and they just made the flocked one and called it a day.
Yeah.
But regardless, these are super cool. They fit the holiday theme, even like if you want to just put them out for decoration for the holiday time, if you're not a hardcore Funko collector, but it's also just a cult classic movie that you can have in your collection, not just because of the holiday time. So I think these
Yeah.
are awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the Muppets line in general is obviously a lot of characters, and they don't really come out with stuff like that
No,
often. And a lot of the stuff is pretty OG, some grails and some
yeah,
like crazy looking, like, Muppet Pops. But it's cool that this is like a different version, because it's the Christmas style version, the Carol and everything. So it's like you're getting some of those characters in a different form, but it fits, perfectly. And like you said, it's cool that a lot of them are like multi-charactered ones with the little ones. I like when they do like a big pop and like a
yeah,
small
it's so cool.
side character. So that's definitely awesome that they did that. Um, so we had some Marvel stuff as well. One pop that actually I feel like I heard about it a little while ago, but then we actually got a picture of it and we got like what it looks like, and then it's a glow in the dark, which looks awesome. It's the Iron Man with the
Oh
tower,
yeah,
so it's
that
the
one's
Avengers
sick.
Tower. Yeah, that thing's pretty awesome. I'm not sure like how big it is. I'm assuming it's the size of like a moment or maybe a town or something.
Yeah, I think it'll be that
Because
size.
because the pop looks like it's a normal like 3-inch pop, and then the tower is just a little bit bigger, so it's not like a huge to scale, obviously. Uh, but the glow on it looks pretty awesome. Like I've seen a few pictures of it with glow, and with Iron Man, they usually do pretty good of the like secondary moment style pops. Like obviously they have ones with him like flying up, the glow in the dark like 10-inch that they came out with, and there was the one with the Gentry thing where he was like putting his suit on or taking it off, whatever one
Yeah,
it was. So it's cool that they do that a lot with his character, even though it's like from older, like movies we haven't seen an Iron Man in a movie in so long. We still
yes.
kind of go back to him all the time. But it's cool that we're getting something like this. And this I think is pretty unique, especially because it glows in the dark and it's like it was an iconic, like, landmark of like one of the, most of the movies. So
I agree. I mean, I that's definitely something I want to add to my collection, and I like when they do these. They're kind of sporadic. Like I feel like I have a Hall of Justice one for Batman, and it's
mhm.
cool to kind of have just some of these for some of those iconic comic book characters. Keeping up with Marvel, um, huge line for the Marvels, which I make a prediction. I mean, after this movie comes out, it's going to be a little bit of a while, I feel like, until we get another theatrical Marvel movie. I think Funko's going to learn their lesson that they can't make these huge lines. These are going to be the ultimate shelf warmers, in my opinion. It's just
Yeah.
no one, not to hate on the movie, but I mean, obviously haven't seen it, but the hype level for this is like not there at all. I don't think anyone really is going to want these pops. I mean, they're even making the sodas in it, like in the huge common line.
Yeah, I was
There's
gonna say
tons
that
of
too.
pops. I mean, the collector core box he's came out, and there's like pop moments. Like, even though they look cool, this line is going to be a huge failure. And I feel like Funko is now going to be trying to behind the scenes kind of cleaning up because, some of the problems they've been having. And this may be like the final humongous line if I was to make a prediction.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
wonder, I wonder the thought process, because for the most part, some of these like big, well, specifically with the sodas, like sometimes they make these big lines of these common sodas, and it's almost like those, it hasn't been the most popular. Well, I mean, I guess some of the movies have been popular, but it's odd like what they pick and choose.
yeah,
And like obviously they usually go with a movie that has like a lot of characters. Like the Spider-Verse had a ton of different versions. So like obviously they had a lot of options. And like this one again has a lot of characters in this movie, obviously, different, Marvel, Captain Marvels and Miss Marvel and all that. So like I'm when I heard about the movie, I was a little excited for it. I'm not like super excited for it, but like, I would like to see it and I think it'll be fine. But like to have a massive line like this, like I don't think, like you said, even like Captain Marvel line, which was like pretty decent,
Yeah.
like a lot of those pops just sit around and are not like, so like I don't know why they're just wasting so much money into like the amount of product that they're putting out. And I agree. I don't think it's gonna be like the best in the sense of like selling or anything, but I guess we'll see. Um, it's an interesting one. But the sodas alone, I saw that too, and I was like, oh wow, now they got another
Yeah.
common wave of sodas. They're just gonna sit everywhere. Like still to this day, there's some of those what if sodas, like you just see them just sitting there because there's just like not
Well,
and
here's what's
Targets and stuff.
crazy about that line though. That's from the season that hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
I mean, people don't want like I don't blame people for not
Way too
wanting
early.
them. Like way too early. And I know like things have been delayed and that kind of I think Funko missed the boat. They've been pretty good at like not making things come out then if the stuff was delayed. Part of me feels like whoever was in charge of the distribution for that or like the release dates maybe made a mistake and they didn't
Mhm.
realize like how it's weird to me. Like no one wants to buy something of a character they don't even know. Like one of
No,
those ones that
like at
been
all. Yeah, the
yeah,
Native American
yeah,
like a
like that's a
character.
new character made for the show. And I mean, we've joked about this since the existence of the podcast. Like when we go to our Targets or Walmarts, like whatever, there's normally nothing. Like I can go get these sodas if I wanted. That like
Mhm.
totally says like how
And they're always open, like
yeah,
in my
which I
freaking
know they're always open. Um, so that's a whole other story, but it shows no one wants them. And like,
yeah.
I'm a huge Marvel fan, and like the hype, unfortunately, for Marvel is really just like going down. Their product just, they've obviously done, which I understand the business side of it. They did quantity over quality. I mean, I haven't even finished watching Secret Invasion, and I have like no interest, which
Yeah.
isn't anyone who knows me would not think I'm lying. Like that's not believable. It's just I don't, and it's funny. I almost feel like they knew that show was going to be trash because there's no Funko Pops really for it. There was that one Funko Pop that came out as the con of Nick Fury, and they just announced another one, which I know is a spoiler for the finale, but that's it for that entire show. They made one common release pop. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense. Like, and we talked about it before. We're like, well, it's coming out as the con pre-show
Yeah,
type thing, which they've done with other shows, obviously. And we thought maybe that would mean something, but then they obviously didn't really. And not that, like, if I'm being honest, there's not any characters that justify like having them in a pop,
yeah,
anyways. Like, in my opinion, based
which
off
is
of the
good though.
show.
Maybe then.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, why would they even, So, um, I get that part, but yeah, as a show like Marvel, like not to get off topic of Funko, but like, yeah, Marvel is
Yeah,
just not in a good place right now. They've really been striking out a lot, especially with these shows, and even though like they're saying they're gonna slow things down, I feel like even what's come out has not been as exciting, even movie wise, which is kind of sucky.
yeah.
But I wonder if it's like just stuff that is really not that good, or if like the way they ended with Endgame and Infinity War and that like if those were so good that it
It's
just
hard
makes
to live
everything
up to
else
that hype.
not ever be like
Yeah,
as good. So
I
that's like
agree.
kind of like one of those double-edged sword things. But some other Marvel stuff. So this we've kind of seen leaked and stuff, but now we're like officially getting them out and everything, and we're getting two different lines for this. So we're getting some more bitty lines. One of them is gonna be Marvel. So we are
Yep.
getting, the Marvel ones, and then we are getting Nightmare Before Christmas ones as well. Um, just to add to this, I know when we first saw the bidding line, we're like, oh, they can go everywhere because obviously it's like they have all these licenses they continue to do. But I kind of in my head thought like maybe they won't, maybe they'll just like come out with stuff here and there. But like they're literally just gonna make everything, I think, in a tiny form at this point. And it's like not surprising now that I think about it. Um, but yeah, we're getting Biddy. And obviously a lot of the Disney umbrella is what they're, working with. Of
Yeah.
course, they do have like the DC ones and stuff, but they pretty much hit all the major, Disney's. Then they did a Princess. They had Star Wars. They have now Marvel. We have Nightmare
Turtles.
Before Christmas.
I know that's
So
not
like,
Disney,
yeah,
but just I'm trying
yeah,
to think of the other ones that they've
yeah.
made.
So, but yeah, besides
Yeah.
Disney, I'm saying all they really had was Turtles and DC, the two like waves of DC,
And
and
Harry
stuff,
Potter.
and Harry Potter. That's what, yeah.
Yep.
So, but they're definitely hitting a lot of the big, the big stuff for sure, and trying to get. I mean, Disney makes sense because it also caters to like a younger
Yeah.
audience, so
Totally
that
makes
makes sense
sense.
for them.
One thing though, I want to bring up talking about the Bitty Pops because I don't think we've talked about it on the podcast yet. That they finally like, officially announced those like single packs.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We
But
never
one
talked
thing,
about
and like, let us know what you think in the comments. One thing that I'm like really disappointed about is they're the exact same ones that you buy in the other 4 packs. So it's kind of like,
it. It's just to try to get a one to fill in what you're missing, essentially.
but I
It's
don't
not
even
like
think the
new ones.
chases are in it.
No, that just defeats everything.
I know. I don't get it. It should have been ones that weren't included in those 4 packs. So that the 4 pack is kind of like a taste to start your collection. And then
Or at
like
least be the like mystery ones,
I would
because
have
that's the
went
whole
like,
point.
yeah, I would have went hand buying those with my son. Now I'm just like, why would I ever buy one of those when I can just buy the 4 pack for not that much more money?
Yeah,
It's just a
yeah,
weird
that's weird.
strategy by Funko.
It is strange. I guess I kind of understood initially like what they were maybe trying to do, but if that's the actual way it is, yeah, that's strange.
But let
I
us know
don't
what you
know.
think in the comments.
Hmm.
And then I'm just
What else we got?
I mean, we got it's funny. We got a lot of just the Disney IP or like
Yeah.
umbrella stuff. I mean, go back to the holiday stuff. We got new Marvel holiday pops and we got just new like Disney OG character pops. I feel like at this point, these are like an annual thing. We will get them every year. The only thing that I mean, they're not that different. Like I look at like I look at the Spider-Man, like there's a new Spider-Man one, Wolverine, Iron Man, Deadpool, and there's a She-Hulk. So some of these characters are new, but like I feel like I have the Spider-Man one already. He's wearing
Hmm.
like an ugly sweater, pointing his fingers.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like there's so many Marvel characters. We should like spread the wealth, but this probably goes to the line with they can use exactly the same mold, do a little bit of different paint job, call a new Funko Pop, and it costs less for them.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's funny because I've always said in this podcast how I really want like the Christmas NFTs or Christmas Freddies and like I love Christmas, but like they're making way too many Christmas Funko Pops.
They do make too many though.
Like it's just too many.
Like for a little while, it was like DC.
Yeah,
It was every year, and it was nonstop. DC was, and now it's like Marvel is the new one that took over, which is like
it's crazy.
nonstop. Marvel. The only thing with the DC one is like the wave usually would only be like 3 or 4 different characters. Where Marvel, they're doing 5, 6, 7 different
Yeah.
ones, and then coming out with them all over again. But yeah, it is. I mean, I get it. I guess if like you're just starting to collect and you want a holiday pop, now you got a new one. You're not going to get one of those older ones. Maybe you can't find or something. I guess.
That's very true. And
Yeah.
they must do well that they continue to make them. You would think.
Yeah, I'm sure as a gift, and like I have a couple that I put in the tree, but now they came out with the actual ornaments,
Yeah,
which is Hallmark, which that was brilliant. That was a lot better idea.
agreed.
So I'm glad they did those. I thought this was pretty cool. So we've seen this in the past. They've done it before. So for the Aqua Sox team, which is like a
Oh
minor league
yeah.
team in Seattle area, they're coming out with the soda. This is going to be on the 4th, so August 4th, which is this, was that Friday?
Yeah.
It's this week,
My
yeah.
wife's
So,
birthday.
oh, nice. Happy birthday, happy early
They should
birthday.
Funko, you should send me those sodas for her birthday. Come on.
Yeah. And what I was gonna say is, and you said it, is like they are giveaways. So this is something that they give away at the game. I remember last year we saw it where they were giving them out, and there was a chance to chase, I think, as well. I believe,
Yeah.
right? It's not just like a standard one.
No, they're
Um,
sick.
and like, yeah, it's a super cool idea. It's super cool whether they do the mascot or the Freddy, like they've done them both. So it's cool to see this as like a giveaway thing. And like I get it, it's more to their hometown area and stuff. So like, it makes sense for them. But I would love to see more of that in like some other areas. I mean, I know we've kind of seen the pops do that. They haven't really seen that with sodas though. It's usually only them that do that, but that also is because we don't have sports sodas yet at all.
I know.
So we need those. I still can't believe we don't have any, like,
No,
I
there's
guess
none.
wrestling technically,
That's not
like
sport.
WWE. I mean, I don't want to get people mad.
I like
I mean, it is an entertainment,
I
but I guess it could be a sport. It's not really. I mean, it's competition. I don't know. That's let us know what you guys think down below. If wrestling's a
yeah,
sport.
I don't have a problem causing controversy. Sports are real. Like WWE is
Whoa,
not
wow.
real.
I mean, not
I
all
mean,
sports are. Well, yeah, I guess
well, I
technically
mean,
they
well,
are.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like I feel like the reason they do that is because, like, the WWE, they are characters per se, and I feel like that
Yeah.
is why they do make way more. Obviously, WWE is huge, very
Well,
popular.
well,
So
so there's not even. There's only Stone Cold, I think, is the only one.
correct, but I mean, like, I
Soda
bet you
wise.
more will come out.
Yeah. Which I would
Um,
assume that Stone
yeah,
Cold came out. I feel like they should be doing those. But yeah, I mean, sports needs to be, and we said it before, like not to get into this whole sports needs to be on Soda's rant, but we've talked about it before where like when the gold came out, we're like, well, this must be their alternative because they went with sports and they were like,
yeah.
it was like annoying. I was like, well, I don't think just do it for sodas, but like they definitely should. I mean, no reason why. They would probably look awful because you know how they are, and there's not much room, so they'll probably just make them two guys standing there. But still an opportunity. But either way, my point was over here on the East Coast, and let's get some of these giveaways and more often. Maybe sodas would be cool, but yeah, that was the Aqua Sox giveaway. So look out for that if you're in that area. Hopefully you can get one. I don't know what off the top of my head, I don't remember what the piece count was or how many it was, but I think last time they said they were just like they had so many, they were just
Yeah,
gonna
I
give them
feel
all
like if you go to
crazy.
the game, like I feel like they try to scare you at all sporting events, and I've been part of it. Like, oh my God, I have to get there so early to like get this giveaway, and like I feel like you need to be there like super late not to get one
Yeah,
for the most part. I think.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. There wasn't really much. I mean, else. There's
Well, one pop I did want to mention because I thought it was an awesome looking one was, well, it's not out yet, but it was kind of like leaked to be coming soon. Is a Toys R Us exclusive
oh yeah,
Jeffrey as Donatello. So that's awesome. Jeffrey is basically Canada's Freddie Funko because they use him as other characters and they always look awesome, like Freddie as
they are
Batman, as
sick.
Superman, like different things. And I think this the first turtle.
It
I
is
don't
the
know if
first
he is
turtle.
as one, right? So that's
Yep,
cool. So I would assume we're going to get the other ones. It is a Toys R Us exclusive, which obviously here in the United States we don't have as many. There are some. There is one actually not too far from me at the American Dream Mall, which recently opened. But I'll be interested to see if they get it because that'd be something cool I'd want to pick up. Because
well, I'm
yeah, it's
happy
definitely
you
a cool one.
just
I think I only have maybe one Jeffrey. Can't remember, but I think there's some pretty cool ones.
I'm happy you just brought that up though, because I don't think we're gonna get it in the States.
Yeah, probably
We
not.
never get any. And like I know
Oh,
Toys, I
like the
mean,
Toys R Us exclusives, you mean, and
yeah,
stuff
the
at
Toys R
all?
Us
Yeah.
exclusives. Like we got the Christmas Jeffrey. Speaking of Christmas, but I know they came out with like tons of Harry Potter ones, for example.
Yeah.
And at this point, there are a decent amount of Toys R Us's within Macy's within the United States,
Yeah, now that's true.
and then the flagship one that's in the American Dream Mall. But I feel like we should get those. Like I agree, like they're super sick. Like I'm always like, oh, I want to get these, and we don't ever seem to get them
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
point I completely forgot
Luckily,
about it.
yeah. I mean, luckily people do put them up. You can buy them and whatnot and things
Yeah,
like that. And like there's ways of getting it. And they're usually not the craziest prices grails because they pretty seem to be like a lot of them. They're not piece counts or anything, but it's still pretty cool. And I mean, this one's like if it opens it up, like okay, now we're gonna get the other turtles. It'd be a cool set to have. And one of our really good friends, Trey, obviously diehard Turtles fan. So like when he saw it right away, he was clearly very very excited
yeah.
just to see anything in turtle form, basically. So it's cool to see that one.
It's funny though. I want to backtrack really quick to the sports stuff because I just checked. I'm like, did Funko actually like announce this and never actually give it away? Do you remember that they're giving out that Bryce Harper Funko Gold at a Phillies game? And I just checked. It
Yeah, but it
actually
hasn't
hasn't.
happened.
It hasn't happened yet. It's
Yeah.
August 27th. I'm curious
Okay.
if
Yeah.
anyone listening, if they will be at that game getting one. And it's like, will this just really be a one and done? And it will be the only baseball Funko Gold like ever made?
Oh yeah, because it
Or
was the first Funko Gold. It's a smaller one though, right? 5 inch. I don't
yeah,
think it
it's
was
like
a big
yeah,
one. I
it's
would
one of the
assume
small ones. But it's just interesting because we've
it's
talked about
still
this
the
a
only
lot.
one.
Funko Gold is basically dead. I think. I
And
think they
we
let it run
kind
its
of,
course of what was being made.
yeah, we
This,
we predicted that a long time ago that it
yeah,
probably would be, and then it seemed to really blow up when they started getting all those celebrities and people in that throne and that storefront that they had.
yeah,
Like, is that in Funko Hollywood, right? That
yeah,
like room or
yeah,
whatever. But like, you never see it anymore. You don't see anything about it. Obviously, there's not waves of new stuff. We clearly have a whole nother season of football coming through and like other sports, and like we're
yeah.
not getting new ones. And it was like, what's going on? Then the baseball one was rumored so long ago, and then we finally got one, like you said, which hasn't been given out, but it was announced. But yeah, that's interesting. The whole that gold thing, man. That's I don't know. That's what I think is gonna happen to the blockbuster rewinds. I'm gonna predict it now too. I think it's gonna crash and burn. I think it's gonna.
I think people are liking them.
I don't know. I do. I mean, I do think people do like them, but like, look, they haven't even made them. You can't even buy them yet.
Well,
Still, they're still freaking
that's
delayed. Like, what the hell's going on?
ridiculous. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I also don't
So
understand
that's
like how some people, honestly, in my opinion, is jealous as I would be because I did want to get some of those Freddy ones from the con.
yeah. The con ones I thought
Just
were cool.
don't put them on the website at this point. Like people in the con got them and just make them special, especially with all the other screw ups that have
So
happened.
did they actually have them there?
Oh yeah,
Those ones that actually were out?
yes, you got people got them at San Diego
Oh
Comic
yeah,
Con.
yeah. Okay, I've seen a couple people
They
open
just
them. That's
didn't
true.
put them up on the website.
That's true. Just make it more exclusive
I mean, we know
to
that
not
won't do that.
ruin what was supposed to be exclusive, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah,
But maybe that'll kind of make up for it.
yeah, but the people
But
wouldn't have known to buy them. So,
we'll see. We'll see.
and I'm trying to think
Uh
too. Another thing that just run it by because I know some people do get excited for this. They came out with the new Rudolph pops for like
yeah.
the original OG Rudolph movie. I mean, a lot of these are kind of redone, more detailed versions of the OG ones, but they're still pretty cool.
Yeah. I think your boy Funko Shop exclusive dropped too, right? Ted
Yeah,
Lasso.
Ted Lasso, with the Believe sign,
Yeah.
which it's funny. That's like one thing I wanted to talk about in terms of Funko Shop. Which have you been seeing that they just stopped giving people sorters when they ship your Funko Pops? I'm curious what's going to happen when the next. Yeah, everyone's pops are coming trash. They're just throwing them in the box.
Like
So,
every pop that they release, no matter what it is now,
since
whatever.
San Diego
So
Comic Con, which I have not
so
gotten mine yet.
yeah, well I have my you still haven't gotten yours?
No,
Did it ship?
it just shipped the other day.
What? Yes, I
Yeah,
have
I
mine. I've
know.
had mine for a
But did
couple
you get
days.
it? Did you open it yet though, or no?
No, no, no. So it's literally still in a box,
So
and it's
that'll be
all big
interesting.
box, so it's probably all crazy. And I have sodas and pops, so who knows how that's gonna be. The last Funko order that I had was pops and sodas as well, and it was in the sorters in that stupid, annoying like 2-pack sorter.
Yeah,
And then one of them, the pop was just by itself, and the sodas were like separate. So interesting that they ship kind of randomly no matter. That's always kind of been a thing, but if like none of them are gonna come in that's even more ridiculous. I mean, these already were like annoying sorters, but at least they were kind of
at least it
in
was
their own
something.
little compartment. But yeah,
I
this
mean,
box now I'm
let
worried to
us
see what the
know.
hell's in
But
this.
like everything I've seen online, I don't know a person who's gotten protection on any of their Funko
This
Pops in San Diego Comic Con.
yeah, I still have not opened my stuff.
Like
So and I mean
grails
I
being
got it a couple
destroyed.
days ago, a few days ago.
Like
Jeez.
the anime pops that people are pumped about. Like I'm
Oh,
happy we
like
don't
those
collect
like
those.
trying to get the chase and stuff.
They're just trashed.
Yeah. Jeez.
Especially that
Uh
one that was in
yeah, I
that
can't wait to
huge
see.
box. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
but
yeah, I have
like
seen that thing. I mean, look at the box, so they can't even have a sorter for that, of course.
well, yeah,
That makes
but
sense, but they could have bubble
that
wrapped
could
it
have
or
fit in the three pop sorter.
figures, something. Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. But I wanted
Jeez.
to bring that up because and let us know in the comments if you've gotten any of your Funko Pops and they're trash. I just saw people today being like, it's funny, I didn't even buy the Ted Lasso one. I don't think it's gonna sell out, like I'll knock on wood. But people are like, I'm not getting that today because I'm just gonna get aftermarket because it's just gonna come trashed.
So
So
crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
sometimes going to the aftermarket, you get a little bit more reliable stuff. Sometimes you get pop protector on it. How about that?
Yeah, right. Crazy.
um Another thing, so I didn't want to just talk about this, just to hint, like this is kind of like just news because we talk about these all the time, obviously with Funko NFTs. So just like a couple key things that are happening with drops and stuff. So obviously the Hanna-Barbera and the April Fools, those redemptions just
Yep.
started. So they were, remember, those drops were very close together because the April Fools one came kind of out of nowhere right after the Hanna-Barbera drops and stuff. So those redemptions periods are open. So obviously if you got those, don't forget to, do the redemptions. Looney Tunes is like the latest one that has now been shipping. So we're still I'm still like waiting to see some other ones that are gonna be shipping soon. Like it seems like this coming this batch of stuff was the ones that were coming pretty like consecutively dropped wise,
Yeah.
not necessarily shipped wise, because we all know some of these things get delayed. And one of the big lines that was obviously super delayed. I feel like two of the biggest ones was, and you got one right back there actually, was this Jay and Silent Bob. That was one that was
Yeah.
like very delayed, right? When it came to like
Very
actually
delayed.
being shipped. And then the other one is Ninja Turtles, which is another one, not Ninja Turtles,
Power
Power
Rangers.
Rangers,
Yeah.
which is another one that has recently been coming out. But I know you have been just dealing with some
Yeah.
bullshit.
I'll share my story. And so that's probably been my most anticipated NFT drop that happened. I got every single one in the line besides the Tommy Girl because it was just ridiculous. Would love to have my collection, but they shipped on July 8th. It is the time of recording. This is July 31st. Will come out
Yeah,
on August 1st when you all listen. I still don't have them. They just stopped moving. I am like, you know, praying I get these Funko Pops, kind of talk to drop. It's just it's been a nightmare. It's kind of opened up my eyes to the way this has all been done. I've always just been like all rainbows and butterflies because I love the NFT so much. And I really just hope I got these Funko Pops. And I'm just let me know in the comments if any of you have any of these problems. Do you have your Power Rangers ones yet? And also, there's always been debate in the NFT community. Um, do you redeem them all together? Do you redeem them separately? Will they come better? Like I know some people who legitimately redeem every single one separately because they think they will come
really.
packaged the best. I think I may do that in the future because at least it's just one package that has not just one package that has a chance of getting lost.
Yeah, which is
It's just
true.
I'm curious, like, how do you all redeem your NFTs?
How many did you have in total?
Five.
Okay, so that's a bigger box too.
Yeah. I'm hoping it find its way to me because I will be very, very, very upset. So let's all hope.
Jeez.
Give me the good vibes that I'll get it. But yeah, it's just crazy. And then speaking of NFTs, we still don't even have. It's been a month since they've announced a new one.
Yeah, which I had a feeling there would be a stop, obviously with the con. Like you would think
Yeah,
it was probably a little bit of a break, but I would have thought that like this last week they would have at least announced
yeah, you can just
was going to
announce
be
it.
this coming up next or in 2 weeks or something to give you a little bit of time. But it is interesting that we're kind of on like a hold on like what the hell's going on with the things. But yeah, just kind of like go back to what you're dealing with. Obviously, it's like it's not a great situation, especially when you got so many of them. It was a line you obviously really liked, spent lots of money. And like we went back and forth and we were talking, but this is kind of it does shed light to the sense of like this type of drop, not to be funny with the name, but like this type of thing where like you could spend literally barely any money, you could spend lots of money. And it's like it's because of that whole aspect of like, just trying to pull random cars, whatever it
Yeah.
is, or going and buying it on the aftermarket because the markups of these things are always super high, more than likely going to spend a pretty good amount of money. So it just kind of sucks that the first issue was that we've preached over and over again is just the shipping quality, first of all,
Yeah.
has always never been like what we think it should be. People have gotten damaged pops. Like, obviously, you hate to have a damaged pop, but I'm sure you would much have rather had a damaged box
Then
pop
not.
right now than
Yes.
not having the pop at all. So, like, yeah, that kind of sucks, but it's like, whatever. We got to kind of deal with it because, shipping is shipping. And that's a kind of also falls into what you're dealing with too, because it's so unreliable with shipping. But I know you kind of shed a little light into like the process that they went through. It's not like they tried to go grade A and getting you the best way to ship these things. And we got some news that like they actually shipped this with the cheapest, worst possible option
Yeah.
because this leaves and changes multiple hands before it gets
Well,
to you,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I can dive into that a little bit more. It's like they start off with UPS, and then they do like UPS, or like it's Mail Innovations, where they have a partnership with the United States Postal Service. So this goes from UPS to then a huge facility for the United States Postal Service, which then from there it needs to go to your local post office, and then from there it'll be delivered to your house. If they just
Yeah,
did better shipping with just UPS, it legitimately only have to go from point A to point B, and they would have so many less issues with this.
yeah,
That's another thing that's super upsetting. Like, and it just brings to light, like, they do not treat these Funko Pops as like quote unquote special. Like
yeah,
they don't. And it's kind of like talking about this right now on this podcast, and I want to stay positive, but it is souring me a little bit on like I'm normally a positive person, but like how they don't really care about their fan base, their
yeah,
consumers, especially just like we don't want to, beat a dead horse, but with the which I know we'll talk a little bit more about Fundays, give another recap, but it's just like it's just thing after thing after thing. It's just like, come on. Like, how
yeah,
do we still not get these Funko Pops shipped in some sort of protector? It is
yeah.
blasted all over the internet, all in the official discords, all over Twitter, like everything. Like they just don't care. Even if it's one of the flimsy ones that isn't a hard stack,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
come
I know. We're not
on.
asking for like the best like hard stack pop shields, like which people transfer them over to usually anyways, but like ship there definitely is a process in their shipping where they can put a little bit more money into it, make it more of a direct ship like you were talking about, a quicker ship, put a little bit more protection on the actual like pop or in the box or whatever it is, because at the end of the day, they're definitely banking money on these. We know how much, I mean, we
Yeah.
don't know how much, but we know it's not cost much money to make these, and they're getting tons of return, like with this sellouts and the amount of stuff. So like that money could definitely go into these things. And it's like it's pretty simple because it's like you're gonna get people upset and stopping to collect NFTs or no longer getting them at all, or maybe just getting a lot less. And it's like that's gonna affect them eventually. Like, yeah, they're gonna still sell, they're still gonna make money, but at the end of the day, like you said, with the discourse and the amount of stuff, like people have had issues from day one when it came to like the quality and how things came jacked up. I'm sure they lost people from that. Now, did they not sell out? Of course not, because people still buying stuff and reselling, and there's people that are still doing it. But like little by little, I think this will kind of start giving like
Yeah.
a bit of a hit to their business when it comes to that. And it's just like it's not stuff that I feel like we're asking craziness out of. Like
We're
you
not.
could
And
figure
even,
out a way to do it a little bit better. And like after it leaves your hands, I understand like the shipping process itself is kind of a pain in the ass because they are being shipped in boxes. So clearly, like things can get crushed or kicked or thrown in. We know that that's happened with anything that you order. Like
yes.
it can happen, but you can sometimes tell when it's that versus when it was like done in the factory. Like it sometimes it's like too obvious, and it's like I don't know. But yeah, it's annoying. Like, luckily, I haven't ever dealt with this, but like we have tons of ones that are still waiting to come. So like,
Yeah.
who knows what's gonna happen now with all of these? We've heard some people who have lost them. We've heard people that got damaged, but like this is one that I feel like there was already an initial kind of issue because of the delay, anyways. Like, why was there such a crazy delay? Why was there other lines that dropped later getting shipped and actually delivered before these were even sent out? Like that was already
Yeah.
kind of a red flag in the sense of like what the hell's going on with this drop. And
The
then
other,
for it to actually not even get to you at this point, now you have to figure out what the hell's going on. And it kind of sucks because you just don't know who exactly to talk to. Like
yeah,
who
they
is the
do
one
not
that could
make it
actually
easy.
fix it? Like who is it? Is it drop? Is it Funko? Is it the post office? Like who? And that's
They
kind of
really
annoying.
should make this a fixable problem as well because, we were talking before, like obviously these values fluctuate per pop base of demand. But one thing I was forgetting, which maybe you aren't aware of this, everyone, Funko makes a percentage off of the aftermarket on Atomic Cup. They know how much these are selling for. They sometimes want this to happen because then they make more
Mhm.
money secondhand. And it's just like, I debated if I'd even say this on the podcast, but I'm going to. Like, I've been a pretty OG NFT person. I know we're just a small podcast. I've always pumped it up. Me and Migs are always talking about we make our NFT videos. I'm a big part of the community. If I don't get these Funko Pops, I don't think I'm going to buy any more Funko NFTs. And I know I'm just one person, but like, I'm not going to do it because if they're just not going to be helpful, I'm hoping they are, and I can still love this hobby, but it's just not worth it. And it's just like,
Mm.
I haven't allowed Funko to sour me on really anything. I'm normally just like Team Funko, but like, something's got to give.
Yeah.
And it's just upsetting.
Yeah, and we do have a feeling like they probably have extra ones because we
Yeah.
know that they make these and they don't
They
all get
sold them
redeemed or
at the
whatever.
warehouse sale.
Yeah, they had those extra ones that they sold for freaking one of the real OG ridiculous ones, and it's like there's got to be a separate process, and like I think that would be the only make sense type of thing versus like funds given back because like you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if you got anything back, like it would feel good for not at least getting something back. But like, it's hard to like where they're gonna say like, you only spent this much on a pack type of thing. Like that's what you get back. Like, it is hard to get that number, but
Yeah.
get them the actual product. Like, I feel like there's a way to figure
They
that out.
honestly
Kind of
should
sucks.
just make extra ones to send to people because I'm not the first one to have this issue. And you know what? Like Mig just said, they're making so much money off of this. Truly just destroy them. Then
Yeah,
afterwards, once time is settled and there's a way to know they can track if everyone got all of their pops,
yeah.
then you're good. I
There's
mean,
got to be a
there's
way
got to
that
be
they
a
make
way.
more, too, because like we've talked about this. I've said this in a really old episode, but there was a situation where I had a Funko Shop exclusive die cast and it came destroyed, beheaded, and like destroyed, and it was sold out. And I like hit him up like, hey, look, what can I do about this? Whatever. And like, oh, we'll send you another one. I was like,
Yeah.
but it's sold out. How are you gonna send me another one? Like thinking to my head. And they sent it. Same thing with like a Mickey soda. They sent
Yeah.
the wrong one. It was sold out. And I was like, they clearly don't have any more of these. And those are numbered. So I'm like, clearly they're gone. They never went back up, by the way, but they had
Yeah.
one to send me. And I'm like, so clearly they have something extra and
Yeah.
like whatever. But I mean, and luckily, like when I've had issues, like it's been good, but we did mention this, and not to keep going back and forth on this thing, but it really does depend on who you speak to.
100%.
And I feel like it's like that with a lot of companies, because
It
even like that
is.
with the company I work for, like I could tell you right now, if you call in to speak to a customer service, like for the company I work for, one person will give you one thing, and then another person may not give you anything. And it really does kind of depends. And it's the same thing with this, where like it really depends on who you speak to. Some people are just, and you've dealt with some people on the Funko side of the
Yeah.
site that have just been complete a-holes to you. And
Yep.
I've dealt with people that almost wanted to give me the world. And it's like, what the heck's the difference? So
It's
it is
wild.
interesting, the
It is.
inconsistency.
But
But
I'm
yeah,
hoping everything's gonna be good. I'm still gonna be collecting Funko NFTs. So let's
yeah,
go.
please, 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 because I can't be the only one over here because I've been going more wild lately. Anyways, Charlie's already kind of been like taking it more easy, and like now if he's completely out of the game, it's gonna be crazy. But let's end it with some fun day stuff. Not to
Yeah.
beat a dead horse here. We're not gonna go crazy and like we're not trying to be one of those channels. Like I've seen so much about this and like I see both sides and I understand the people out there. Like just to be upfront, when we should probably have a disclaimer before we start every episode. I feel like because this made me think of this, but you know, we're huge Funko collectors. We love Funko, right? Obviously, we've always preached that we love the actual collecting
Yep.
part. We're not in it for the values. Value is amazing, but we're not flippers. We have nothing against flippers. Like that's another thing. Like we're gonna throw all
Yeah.
this out there for you guys, just in case you guys are first time listeners. I know we got a lot of new subscribers
Yeah, we did.
recently from the last episode, so thank you guys and welcome. But yeah, nothing against those people. We're just not those people, right? Now, we didn't go to San Diego Comic Con. I don't know if we made this clear the last time. We didn't go there. We weren't people that went there. We weren't people that got those boxes and whatever. We were just people that live in Jersey, and we happened to get some. Charlie got an online box. I didn't even get an online box, so let's put it that way too. But what we like to do is we just like talking about Funko and
Yeah.
collectibles, right? And we kind of like say the news we like to say, and like we just voice our opinions on certain things. But our opinions are not the only thing that matter. We understand that, and everyone different that has different opinions. So I know like the community went crazy when it came to what happened, and people had their opinions, and then there was some people that were strongly on the opposite side and kind of made people who talked about it seem like they were idiots for talking about it. And if you weren't even there, you shouldn't say anything. It's like people could talk about whatever they want,
Come on.
and we're just
Yeah.
giving our outlook on like what we thought happened, why did it happen, what it felt like to be us in the situation, and what we think like it's a bigger scheme, a bigger thing for Funko, right? So with that all being said, obviously we were on the train of like, this kind of sucks. It's kind of a mess up by Funko. How'd they do that? It's
Yeah.
crazy. It doesn't really make sense to be just like a little mistake because it happened to multiple things. No, we're not sticker collectors, but like, yeah, because we hear that all the time. But it was more just like the the way I looked at it, it was like it was taking Funko's like the trust out of things. Like, because you didn't know if you could trust a company that tells you one thing and then could change it, or something is different, or like things get changed
Yeah.
and now it's like not what they said, whatever. Like, now what's to say that that's not going to happen again with other things, or what's to say that's happened with other things, whatever. That's kind of where we're at. I feel like you're in the same boat. Like, that's what we were
100%.
more like, wow, this is kind of a little more of like a messed up thing. um but either way, now we're getting a little bit more news, and one of the big things we wanted to touch on was Funko actually coming out and saying something. So when we last recorded, this hadn't happened. It was just like more the
Correct.
situation of what was going on and everything, and that the boxes were coming out with the same stuff and whatever. But Funko came out with a statement. I mean, you guys probably all saw it, not to like go crazy on it, but essentially they kind of apologized. They did. They came out and apologized. It was brought to their attention that, and this was funny. It was like being an issue with stickering, so it really was a sticker thing. They didn't say like, this is what I thought was interesting. They didn't say like, comes to attention that like we put the wrong pops in the
They didn't
box, or
really
that we
take,
did. Yeah,
yeah,
it was literally just the
accountability.
sticker. The sticker part is what they were saying was the issue. Very seriously, they're going to actively investigate. When a label product is exclusive, it's committed to our fans to be, yada yada yada, which we all figure that's what exclusive is supposed to mean, right? So for those of you that went to Fun Day, supposedly, you had a great time and you enjoyed everything, but they're gonna give you an update through, email, whatever, whatever, to see if they could do something. When we saw that, we didn't think they were gonna like, what can they do? Like in the sense
Yeah.
of like, if you got the wrong thing or the sticker was wrong,
Yeah.
what are they going to change? They can't really change it. Now, maybe can they give you money? They can refund you. They can give you another pop, or they can do something like that, maybe. But it was more so like people at home got something that was what seemed to be only was supposed to be given out at a certain con, which now means that the people at the con got something that was less exclusive than they actually thought. So really, the people that got hurt by this weren't the people that just went to the convention, because you got to enjoy the convention. You got to do all the stuff you did and you got that pop. But I think it was more like the people who bought these pops for crazy values right away because they thought they were the only time they're going to get them, to then see that they were coming out later on. I think that was probably the big thing that was kind of like, well, that kind of sucks. And that's
Yeah.
how I say it. I'm over here sitting here without even having getting a box in a completely different side of the country, but I could still say like that probably sucks for that person, because I saw a lot of them voicing that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like what my take was. But like, where are you at with everything?
No, I mean, I completely agree with you. It's more the people who thought they wanted to get something special for their collection and then realized they could have had a chance to still get it at home or not paid as much money. That really ultimately is like the bummer of it. I mean, I know we've talked about them before. Huge channel. You probably all already watched them. But Chris from the Gastelcast, he's a huge Transformers fan.
Hmm.
He needed to get that Megatron Freddy for Metallic for his collection. He traded somebody his Green Ranger Grail for it, only then to find out later that he could have gotten it for way cheaper or even could have gotten in the box at home. And
Hmm.
like it's just upsetting now because honestly, you should all go watch one of the episodes. They talk about this a lot, but I mean, he had the guy who traded it to him was like, "Hey man, I actually feel really bad." Like he even offered to trade it back, but Chris was kind of like, "No, we made a trade. Like I'm happy you got that." I can
Yeah.
still enjoy it, which is just a class act all around. But we shouldn't be in that situation. And it's just, I don't get why it happened. I personally think the apology, who knows where that stands. I also just feel like this is never going to happen again. I'll tell you that. They probably won't even make ones that can be in both versions. They should just stop at the variants. Fundays has its only ones you can get. They're going to go back to the model. I think they did this for a reason, probably cost savings. And no one thought this was going to blow up in their face. Like, I mean, it's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
it's
I go
still,
back and forth on like the whole, is it a mistake or did they do it on purpose or did they know what they were doing or didn't know? Because like I started thinking like, yeah, they're probably gonna make some money off it. They're gonna cut costs and stuff. But then it's like you just said, like did probably didn't think it was gonna blow up in their face. But like it's almost like so obvious that it would be an
I
issue
know.
that it's like, do they really not think that it would have been if they, let's say they did it like knowingly or whatever. Like I kind of almost feel like it was more majority just like terrible, um, like what's the word? Like actual like a user type of thing. Like people were just putting stickers in the wrong places. They didn't know what they were doing. They had incompetent employees type of thing. Like that's how I feel like when I initially like saw everything that was
Me
going
too.
on. I was like, I feel like it was just stickered wrong and like things weren't supposed to like but then it can't be that because like the Captain America is like what the one that really like it's not like it was just stickered metallic, like the actual pop is metallic. So now you're like talking about like it's literally the same pop. Now it could have been placed in the wrong boxes. That could have been done by a person like just didn't realize and they're just like putting them in the wrong thing. But like I don't know, the whole thing is like kind of it's like
I just,
annoying and we've heard about it so much. It's
yeah,
like so dumb, but it's just wild. And like yes, I understand they're a huge company and there will be mistakes. People have been saying that nonstop in people's comments and whatever. Like that's obviously a thing. Clearly that happens. It doesn't mean that Funko can't make mistakes. Funko has made plenty of mistakes and
correct.
made a lot lately, but it's just like certain things are just like they're not paying attention to. And because they're not, it's almost more like it's just people that either don't care or they just don't have people that are competent enough to do it or like and they're cutting people like not to go into a completely different thing but like they're
Yeah,
cutting staff back now too like that doesn't sound like it's going to make things better when it comes to their quality
no,
like it's just
probably going to get less. I mean, unfortunately, I understand it's just a fact of business. But we're probably now going to get less quality just because they're going to make people do more with less. Just going to be what it's going to be. We're probably not going to get as detailed Funko Pops. Probably going to get less. Trying to right the ship and like, I understand it's really upsetting that people did get let go, but Funko is trying to. That's just how you have to fix a company. Unfortunately, I can take
yeah it happens all the time
the personal aspect away from the business, but the one thing I want to bring up again about Fundays, which they really should be disgraced of, actually, is you've seen pictures of the food that was given out, right?
yeah
I mean, I've heard multiple people got food poisoning, uncooked chicken they're serving in the blistering heat. The sandwich was gross. If I don't know if they were trying to act like they were at a camp, but that was disgusting. That's actually more than the stickering situation. That is the thing that I think is the most gross from Funko. That is despicable if they serve that to people who spent like upwards of $300 for a ticket.
yeah it was a
Totally
little
off
weird
topic, but like
yeah
like I wanted to like puke looking at the sandwich. I can't believe they serve that to people.
yeah that was funny and like I feel the other thing is like I feel like not as many people talked about it so like maybe it was just kind of like a whatever like maybe people just weren't eating and not didn't worry about
Well,
it
yeah, who
anyways with the amount of
cares?
stuff that they were doing because like you saw some people put pictures and I was like more jokingly than like serious so like it must have not really affected the people there as much but it is interesting to see something like that where you're like you would think they would put a lot more into this and like the event seemed like it was like fun in the sense of like there was a lot going on and like the way they had things set up was really cool. San Diego's obviously a beautiful place, so it's like down by the harbor where like that convention center is. It's like awesome that area, so I'm sure people like love that. And being in San Diego alone probably was like an awesome part of it
Yeah,
because there's great places to eat, there's nice places to go out. So like the experience and like meeting people. I would have loved to meet people. I still have never gone to a con. We're trying to really figure out if we're going to get to New York Comic Con, hopefully. But like that part, I feel like would make it cool no matter what. Like the fact that
I
you
would
get pops
still
is like,
go. Like
yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
this whole debacle wouldn't, whether the stickering, the food, yada yada, it wouldn't make me not want to go.
Hmm.
I just hope they learned a lesson.
Yeah.
And I would like to think they did.
Yeah. And I mean, people that went to like the Fright Night, is that what it was
Yep.
actually called? Yeah, Fright
Yep.
Night and like the New York Comic Con, like they had a lot of issues with what was going on over there. So like I know a lot of people that went just there, like speak of that one and like how it was kind of a mess. And then there's some people that went there and then also went to San Diego and they're like, oh well, this was run better and everything was so much better and
Yeah.
whatever. So like obviously there's positive aspects to everything. We're just kind of like, talking about just kind of what's out there in a sense of like wow, this is kind of crazy that this is still happening in the sense of like I feel like there's just been a lot of back to back L's that Funko is taking. And it's just like
Yeah.
shocking to me because like I feel like eventually if you are that big of a company and you got smart people running it or do whatever they're doing, that you would figure this out. But then we got the head bouncing on you now. So like it's like, was it because a lot of this crap is going on and he's just like, yo, I need to get out of here? Or was he, dealing with stuff? Like we don't know yet. It's still like what the
Yeah.
actual reason is, but like I'm hoping that they figure this out because they gotta turn this around and get it back to like, being that company that we, it messes up here and there and things come wrong or whatever, but not all these things at once, I feel like. And it's an interesting place that we're at right now with Funko. But again, we're gonna continue to
Yeah.
collect.
We
Obviously,
still love Funko.
we
We just want to
still
tell it how it
love,
is.
yeah, we still love Funko and like we're still gonna collect, we're gonna buy stuff, whatever. Um, I luckily actually found somebody that was selling some stuff that I think they're from like Vegas, I think actually, so somewhat local to the area, and I think they believe they went to the convention Fundays and they got some Funday stuff because I obviously was not able to get a box, so I was able to get a couple things that I wanted from the box, luckily, which is good, reseller, but nothing crazy. I don't think it was out of the ordinary. I liked what I got. I know Charlie actually opened up his box
Yeah, I'll have
and
a
you were
video
able to
coming to
get,
the channel.
yeah, you got some stuff that you like, so
Yeah.
that's pretty
I'm
awesome.
definitely happy with my box, so I can't complain. It's just like it's just such a weird situation. And sometimes part of me is just like, maybe if they I've never really heard of issues with their events until recently. Maybe they just need to stop the online stuff. And like as terrible as that would say to myself,
Yeah,
like you only can go to the event, but that's the way it always was. And maybe I mean, I know they want to make the money. I mean, those things
yeah,
sold out so quickly, but I feel like it may have done more harm than good. Um, Not to like circle back, but like like they really upset some people that probably would never get upset at Funko.
oh
That's
yeah,
what's alarming to me about this whole situation. Like
yeah,
diehards who will never have anything bad to say about them. This is the thing that finally upset them, which just like is really unfortunate.
yeah. It was definitely a controversial thing. It was very like you were strongly on one side or the other side when it came to this, and it
I
was
feel like it's
interesting. It
dominated the
divided a lot of
Funko
people. Oh
news
yeah.
verse, and like that's all anyone. No one's even caring about the some of the news we talked about today because it's like who cares? We're still talking about fun days.
I
But some
know.
people still haven't gotten their
and that's and
boxes.
that's why I didn't want to like really make this episode into that. And like yeah, like we came out with last week's episode because like we literally go based off of the week and what happened
Yeah.
and the news and like what's going on. And obviously that was going on. Fun Days was going on, and San Diego Comic Con had just
And that
ended,
video did really
and
well for us.
and that's what I'm saying. And like that happened during the time when like yeah, it popped off on YouTube and people were like, oh cool, like they found our page and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like it's cool to see, but it's like we weren't doing anything only because of the time. Like we literally were just
What we
talking
always
like we
do.
always do. And it just happened to be something that a lot of people wanted to hear about and were very vocal or very willing to like, listen to other people's things. And like it was just like a perfect time. But like that's why like I don't want to like just keep going back onto that because it's
Yeah.
kind of seems like it's still what people are talking about, but not like, like as much. but like it's still kind of going on. So now we're just waiting on the whole like, all right, well, Funko did what they had to do and they apologized, and I do commend them for doing it. I was actually surprised that they did
That's
this
shocked.
because I totally thought they would just not have said anything, because that's kind of like what they usually do, and they don't really feel like they need to say anything because they're this company that's just going to continue on no matter what, and people will still buy stuff off of them. But they actually came out and they said something. I just thought it was kind of funny because it's like, what are you going to do? And like, what? And it's just interesting that this, because this kind of proves this was that big of a thing. And I think because it blew up on social media in the sense of like, YouTube and Instagram, and a lot of people that are really diehards that had issues, or even if they didn't have issues, they were still talking about it. Funko realized like, wow, this really was a bigger thing than maybe we thought it was
Yeah.
going to be, or whatever it is, that they had to say something. And props to them for saying something. But it's just going to be interesting. Like, what are they going to do about it? But yeah, there's still a lot of, to get back to it real quick. There's a lot of shipping and other issues because San Diego Comic-Con stuff alone has not even been shipped to a lot of people. Some people's Fundays boxes finally have started to ship, like
Yeah.
officially the online ones. So it's like a lot of stuff has been going on, like not, and it's all kind of falls back to like distribution and like all that. And
Which
they've
for a
had these
hot
issues for
second,
a
they
couple
were
years,
good.
bro.
No, but I know this has been going on
Yeah,
for a
yeah, but
while.
then
For
it
like a
did
few
get, yeah,
months, they were like
yeah, yeah. Actually, they were shipping
impeccable.
pretty fast. Yeah, they were shipping
And
pretty fast with some
now
stuff.
also too, like some people I've seen were getting like not the box they ordered. People are getting pops that they didn't order, missing pops that they were supposed to be in it. It's like all of a sudden it's turned to a nightmare again. It actually pulled a complete 180 and is
Dude,
even
I'm
worse.
fucking scared to open up this
I
box
agree. I
because I have
didn't,
no idea what the hell's in it now that I think about it, and how damaged it may be or may not be. And I'm just like,
I
I'm
know.
excited for this because I mostly got Stodas, so like even if they're not gonna be really that damaged. I got a couple pops, but hopefully they're not bad. But yeah, most of the stuff will be Stodas. It's like whatever. But yeah, can't wait to open it up. Anyways, we'll see. I don't know when I'm gonna even open it. I just have not had time to actually
Yeah,
open, but
I know.
we'll see. But that's it. I think that'll be
Yeah.
this episode. It was an interesting one because, like I said, we wanted to talk about the news. Obviously, this is part of the news. Hopefully, next week we have some more cool, exciting things, and it's not like more of this drama and stuff, which
Yeah. And like too,
always does come and
a
go.
positive thing, because we are collector chatter. I know it's basically Funko, but I'll throw out another collectible. You can see kind of in my background. We've talked about it before, Mischief
Oh, you got it
Toys.
in already
We got it in.
too.
You want to talk about
Quick,
fast shipping, quick,
yeah, hell yeah.
perfectly wrapped in bubble wrap in a box it fits
They
in.
ship amazing, yeah,
It's just like they are sick collectibles. The hype is real for them. It's like the excitement of trying to get them. Even when you don't get them, it stinks, but it's like it was the chase of trying to get it. Like Funko used to be that
yeah,
way. I get why they can't be that way anymore. They're huge, but just go check out Mischief Toys because their stuff is really cool. And I think
yeah,
they're just going to continue to grow. And they actually just announced they're going to be going back to New York Comic Con. So it'd be
yeah.
cool
I
if we
did
could
say that.
see them there. And I know last year they made exclusive collectibles for the con. So just
Hmm.
there's tons of other sweet collectibles too that complement your Funko collection, which sometimes I feel like other people forget and we don't talk about it as much as we used to because Funko is quote unquote king. That's why they have that crown.
Yeah, and
In
there's
our
been a
world.
lot to talk about when it comes to them. So,
Yes.
uh, but yeah, that'll be it. Definitely make sure that you guys comment down below on, anything that we spoke about specifically, some of the drops, maybe the stuff that you're excited for. I know we asked a few questions, a couple things to clear up. So let us know if you guys know anything about that stuff that we were talking about. Definitely chime down below because we love to hear and we always respond back to you guys. But Charlie will let you know, like always, like I said, if you guys are new, thank you again for
Yes.
now jumping on the collective chatter train. Hopefully you guys can get our stuff out there to more people as well because we love just talking about collectibles. Funko obviously dominates it all, but we usually just love chatting it up, about anything that's going on in the news, giving you our take, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. We appreciate all the amazing comments and stuff that we got from the last video. We had a lot of new
Yes.
people, and a lot of people that were like just really giving us awesome praise on like being a great channel and not have as many subscribers, but like we do it for the love of it. And we've been doing it since we had one subscriber, which
Yeah.
is or two, let's say, which was our own subscriber, us own some people subscribing. And like Charlie said, we're very close to 500, so we would love to get to that mark, and on the way up to 1,000 and everything. So hopefully, if you guys not subscribed, definitely do it. But Charlie will let you know where to follow us and all that kind of stuff as well, so you can check us out not only just here but on other social media
Yeah,
platforms
and
as well.
just to reiterate, Meg just took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, it was so nice to see people say like, "How have I never seen your channel before? How do you only have this amount of subscribers?" And I'm like, I don't know either. So if you could like this video so more people
Mm-hmm.
can find it, obviously shoot us those comments because as you can see, we always reply back to every single comment. We do not leave a comment unanswered. And just hit that notification bell so you know when new videos come out. Kind of like I said, I'm gonna have a Fundays box video coming out soon for you. We normally have the NFTs. I know we haven't had them in a while, but just tons of other content. Obviously, the podcast is the bread and butter, especially if you are new. But we do little things here or there. And then also
Mm-hmm.
you can follow us on Instagram at Collector Chatter. And then if you're watching us on YouTube, you see as always our names below. But if you're listening on the podcast, for Migs, it's at pop underscore Migs, and for me, it's at underscore Charlie. Once again, thank you so much for all
Collector
the
underscore
praise.
Charlie. You forgot to
What?
say collector. You just said at underscore
Oh
Charlie.
my God, sorry. That is so hilarious. At collector underscore Charlie.
There you go.
And yeah, just everyone, thank you so much for all the new fans, and we really hope to continue to grow. And remember, collecting is the way. Until the next episode. Later, everyone.
Take it easy, everybody.